Hello, guys. So today's class, we're going to be talking to high school students, and the main point is the high school students that are getting ready to go to college. If you're planning to finish high school and then going to a four-year school or two-year school, today we're going to be talking about the things that have to do with that topic. We have had enough experience in these last years. My husband is a basketball coach, and he's coached all over the country at different type of colleges and universities, and he has had an opportunity to help people get their education with their free education, or get a scholarship, or helping them make those decisions, those financial decisions of when to choose or how to choose to best maximize the help that is available for you to get your education. For us as a family, we've always thought that we're going to get free education for our children because my husband worked for colleges and universities. And at one point, we had to make that decision of how to prepare for that. So the first couple of years of them going to college, we were able to receive that awesome opportunity to have free education. But during those years, Ray retired. And so at that point, we had to make a decision of how to pay for our kids' education. And so I want to play a video for you of Ray kind of sharing with you what he has learned over the years in that industry, of what's available for you. What are some things that you want to consider as you make those choices? So this video, that is a video that Ray talked already. And so I want to share that with you, and then we're going to discuss a little bit more about that information. So I'm just going to share the screen and share that video of him talking about all that stuff that he has learned over these few years. Okay, so here it is.
So you can save 2 years on tuition and only pay 2 years of tuition at the four-year school. And then when you graduate, you still have a degree from the four-year school. Nobody ever cares about the 2-year college. They just care about the four-year college and the fact that you graduated from there.
So it's a great way to save. So if, let's say that a school is charging you $25,000, $30,000, the 4 years, you can save a lot of money the two first years, and then transfer to a four-year school, and then have the diploma from that four-year school, but have saved thousands of dollars in the first couple of years. Is that it?
Yeah, you save in housing, you save in fees, you save in tuition.
That's pretty good. Talk to me about sports or academic scholarships.
Well, when you apply based on your academic records, you'll be eligible for a variety of scholarships. Now, athletically, you have to earn that, of course, and the coach recruits you and gives you a scholarship. Now, what a lot of schools do now is they build in scholarship to jobs like ball boy, scorekeeper, custodian. They use jobs on campus to help you pay for school, to give you scholarship money.
And so that takes away from your regular tuition amount that you'd pay otherwise. You get it like a discount.
Yeah, the main thing you want to be concerned about is the fact that if you take out loans, you have to pay money back when you graduate. So your job is to make sure that you limit your expenses so that when you graduate, you don't graduate with a large debt. For example, when you're studying to be a teacher, you can go to the University of Pennsylvania, which costs $80,000 a year, and get a teaching degree. Or you can go to a state school and save a lot of money on tuition. When you graduate, you have less debt accumulated at the state school than you do at the private university. Plus, when you go get the job for that field of teaching, it's not as important as what school you went to as to certifications that you achieved. So you can get a teacher certification at a less expensive school And I get it at a more expensive school, but when we go get our first job, our salaries are based on the school district that we're working for. So in that case, it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of money. Now, if you're going to Harvard for law school, that's totally different. So you need to think about where you're going and what your goals are and what it's going to take to get to those goals.
So I guess the field that you choose to go, so if you decide to be a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor, that weighs in on the name of the school that you graduate from. But if you're going to do a business school or do something that's general, does that weigh the same?
Yeah, it does. So that's why it's important to research the school you're going to go to. Some people go to schools because it's a party school, it's on the beach, it's whatever specialty it has. But the goal of education is to prepare you for your career. So all the hoopla, the parties, the fringe benefits, all these things, fitness centers and beautiful dining halls, they're all nice. But again, your goal is to prepare for your career, whatever that may be.
So remember this, that when you are looking for a school for college, for a university, you want to check out and see if the college is going to prepare you for what you're going to do once you graduate. They may be beautiful, they may be awesome campuses, but are they going to prepare you? Are they going to have the resources and also the connections to move you forward? And also consider those first 2 years in junior college or a local college where you can then transfer those 2 years to a university that is going to best fit you, so you can save some money the first couple of years in order for you to put that money away so that you can afford to pay without a loan the last 2 years of your school. That's a possibility. If you can afford to just pay for a junior college the first couple of years, you can save that money, invest it, and then put that money that you have saved and invested towards the last 2 years of your school without having to take a loan.
Yeah, so take control of your future and limit the debt, because you may want to believe that President Biden's going to forgive everybody their loans, but those banks, they need their money somehow. And there are a lot of people that will graduate with $100,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt before you even start your career. So be smart, research your school, and then search out as many scholarship opportunities as possible. And if you're fortunate that your parents can afford to send you and pay tuition without financial aid, appreciate it and put it to good use.
Thank you, Coach Farrell.
Okay, so let's see. I'm stopping to share so I can continue that. So hopefully that was very insightful. This was a quick overview of what's available, the choices that you can make. Now, the remainder of the class, I want to talk to you about the choices that you want to consider as you are approaching college. As a teenager, you're learning how to manage your money, how to respect your money, and how to best care for it, how to organize your life, and how to be wise about that. Having money is part of it. Having a good financial education is part of it. Hopefully you're going to grow up and you're not going to rely on your parents to take care of you financially. And having a good handle of how to take care of your money is part of having a healthy life. I was looking up statistics to see what is the average household debt for college, specifically college debt in the average household. And that number is $28,000, $28,000 average per person. Some people have more, some people have less, but that's the average on a household per person for college debt that people carry into their professional life. So when you consider that, when you do have debt, whatever the salary that you make, whatever the money that you bring into your household, you must be able to have that extra money just to pay for the debt that you bring in from your education. When you go to a college, when you choose to go to university, the very first week that you go to school, they're going to have different fairs, they're going to have different people, vendors that come onto campus to offer you different things. And one of the things that they offer you are gym memberships, but you're going to see lots of banks. They're going to be over there to engage you to come and open an account with them, and credit card companies. They're going to be giving you options to open up credit cards. And as a young person, all that free money, all that free option, all those easy opportunities to get your hands on credit cards and debt, it's going to be very enticing. So you want to be very careful with those types of opportunities, because unless you are savvy, wise about money management, those are very enticing opportunities for you to take advantage of. But then later on, you're going to have that $28,000 in debt as you graduate from school. And, or as Coach Farrell said, $100,000 in debt if you are not careful. When you don't watch carefully how you spend that money. So if you have already those loans that are offered to you from the financial aid, then those credit cards that are going to be racking up pizza and movie days and things like that. When you graduate and you don't work full time when you go to school, you go to school full time. So for you to create that income to be able to pay off all that those expenses, you have to be very, very careful about that. Let's talk about choices that you have in between going to a 4A school, going to a technical school. What are the choices that you have? So there are many people that will say that it's very, very important for you to go to university, go to a 4-year school and get your education. There are some professions that's the only way for you to go on and excel at that profession. There's a lot of fields that require that education, but there's some fields that don't. And so what you want to consider is, for the field that you chose to be a professional at, does that require that traditional education? Is the time investment, the money investment that you must give to a traditional school, is that something that's required of your chosen profession? Let's say, for example, that your parents have a business and you have already worked a little bit on that business, and you plan on inheriting that business or working with your parents in that business. Does that require that you have a professional or a traditional education? Does that require that? Or let's say that you love to be a technician, you prefer to be a technician. Does that require a 4-year college? Does that require a technical school? Do you want to be a nurse? Does that require 4-year education? So you want to make sure that when you are making those choices regarding what you want to do as a profession, is it required for you? Will that investment in time and money pay off for you in your career if you choose to take that route, do that path, go through that path? So again, considering what you want to do and your gifts and abilities and your passions, is it profitable for you to take that? Now, yes, there's so many opportunities for you. You grow so much personally, you learn so much by taking that time and making that investment in time and money. But is it needed for you? And again, like Coach Farrell said, there's so many ways for you to still get that 4-year education, but start at a junior college, start somewhere where you're not investing from the very beginning that time and effort and money, and then transfer to an university where you're going to get the diploma form, but you didn't spend $40,000, $60,000 a year growing yourself and getting the knowledge that it requires of you to be in that field. So beyond the tuition, you got to remember that there's books, there's extra fees. If you're living out of state, if you're living on campus, there's the room and board, the food, all that stuff is added on to the cost of a college degree. So it's not only the academic just a tuition, but there's so much that is extra that sometimes we don't remember that's included in there. And that's why when you go to the financial aid offices, they will offer you options to pay for those other things, because there are many people that sometimes can afford some of it, but not all of it. But then you're offered different loans to give you options to pay for the extra things as well, just because it becomes so expensive when you start adding on all those fees and books and things like that. So you have to be mindful that beyond the tuition, there's so much more that's attached to that one specific semester or even year. Okay, so doctors, lawyers, teachers, those professions require that you have an education. And actually, for you to excel at those professions, you need to have continuing education on those fields to keep going. So it's not only the 4-year degree, but you want to get a master's, a doctorate, or continuing education, some certifications and things like that. So it's going to be an ongoing learning process and certification process as you choose that field. And there's some fields that just your knowledge makes you have success. There's so many people that are investors and in sales that you don't have to do. You can have those experiences of professional education, but they're not necessary. A degree is not necessary for you to excel in that profession. So you want to make sure that you talk to people in those fields. If you are unsure of what you want to do with your life, that you're exposed to all of these options before you make those choices. Because remember, the vast majority of people that do not plan for that expense or for that experience will carry those choices later on in life, many years. If you Google the average of households that have college debt, you'll notice that that's a high percentage of people that did not plan ahead, that did not think that through, that even when they did, they changed their mind mid college career, and they changed their master's, or they changed their major, and they had to stay longer in school. So those are things that you want to consider as you're choosing how you're going to pursue the knowledge necessary for you to have success in your field of whatever you choose to do so. So we're going to continue to talk about these choices, these options. We're going to be interviewing people that went to school full-time, that went to school part-time, people that graduated from 4-year institutions, people that did not go to school. And but next week, we're going to be talking about the different types of loans and help that a person that chooses to go to college can choose. We're going to be talking about, for example, unsubsidized loans, subsidized loans, plus parent loans, private loans, help that the school will give you. For example, if you want to work a work-study program or scholarships, things like that. So stay tuned. See if you can sit down with your parents and watch this series of videos that have to do with college and how to prepare for that, because it's going to be very helpful in having these conversations together. Your parents, you may have parents that went to college and parents that did not go to college, but it's a good conversation to have with them, because most likely they're going to be the ones helping you pay for this education. So it's very good for you to sit down with them so you can have the knowledge of what you're choosing, and you pair that up with what they are going to be able to help you accomplish as you become more and more independent from them. So thank you for watching. Again, next week, we're going to be talking about loans, and then we're going to be showing interviews in between these classes. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.